Welcome to the latest video from Century Comic Center, and today we are covering Big Little Books, and these are some of the Big Little Books that we have in stock. Big Little Books were published in the 1930s and continued into the 1960s. And they're really cute, you know, because they're big, because you can see that they're fat. They're like an inch and a half thick, but then size-wise, they're very small. So you can see they're just a few inches. Yeah, so they're pretty small, and that's why they're called Big Little Books. And they have a variety of characters that are taken from radio shows. Were real popular back then, of course, because they didn't have television. And so a lot of these characters are from radio shows. Some of them are from literature. Some of them are from early comic books, Donald Duck. But these are not comics. These are text. The pages are text. And there are occasional drawings. And they fizzled out around the 1960s. This is one of the last ones published in the 60s, Lassie. And what's kind of cool about my collection is I was able to obtain the first ever Big Little book published in 1932, and here it is, and it's really in hammered condition. The Adventures of Dick Tracy has a cover scrape, and it has tape on the side. You know, it just looks rough. I was at an antique show and had worked a deal with a woman who had about 12 or 14 of these books for sale, and I didn't grab this one. I left it sitting on her table and worked a deal for all the others. So after I'd paid her, she said, why don't you want that Dick Tracy book? And I said, yeah, it's in really horrible condition. So she said, well, if you have all my other ones, you should have that one too. So she gave it to me, and I didn't really want it. But then when I brought it home and I went to my price guide and I looked it up, because remember, it's the first one ever published in 1932. Even in this condition, it's worth $140. So that was a pretty lucky break for me to end up with that one for free after paying her like probably about $10 each for the books that she gave me. The ones she gave me or sold me were really in nice condition. So one of the things that happens to these books is over time, because they've been read so many times, they lose their spine. See how that one has no spine? And that's very common. Probably you know, 5 or 6 of this collection right here has no spine. So that greatly affects the value when you don't have a spine. But because they are so old, they still have value. So that's Big Little Books. And so now you have a little bit of knowledge about them. And as promised, I wanted to mention, like I did before, that we will be covering Bettie Page, 1950s pinup queen. We're still gathering some of the information that's in our inventory relating to her. Those are some comic books of hers. And then, you know, we've got some prints, and there's Betty being bad girl Betty. So we'll be putting that one together soon, and we appreciate your coming.